For decades, middle schoolers stayed up late trying to figure out how it all ends. We're talking about the novel The Outsiders, which has been required reading in schools across the country since the 1970s.
When the movie came out, no one could predict the young actors then, Lowe, Matt Dillon, Tom Cruise, and more, would soon become A-list celebrities. This Friday night, The Outsiders is coming to the Fargo Theatre. And WDAY News reporter Kevin Wallivin talked to one of the stars on the show who will be here to have a conversation with Fargo Moorhead about the movie's long-lasting impact.
The Outsiders.
When it came out in 1983, The Outsiders movie had the perfect audience waiting to see it.
Now grazers, socials must be someplace with plain ordinary people.
The book was such a hit, people couldn't wait to see it on screen. And alongside Estevez, Cruise, Dillon, Swayze, and Macchio was C. Thomas Howell, who played the popular character Ponyboy.
Nothing gold can stay.
It's an incredible cast and a very simple, beautifully written story about heart and soul and people trying to take care of each other. And you don't see a lot of that anymore. You know, you go to the movies today and an explosion begins and 2 hours later it ends and you go home.
Howell is coming to the Fargo Theatre on Friday night and we'll talk about The Outsiders after the screening.
We'll have grandparents bring in grandkids. It's been around 60 years. This book has been around in this movie since the 80s. And it's still an important story of class struggle and where you're at in society.
C. Thomas Howell's career has crossed generations, from his role in E.T. to TV's Criminal Minds, Obliterated, and more. But Howell is concerned about what he sees with today's young people who are glued to technology, which opens the doors to bullying and more.
There is nothing more lethal than a teenager and a keyboard. I mean, it's brutal. And literacy in the arts, to me, is a beautiful answer.
Howell and his wife started the Stay Gold Foundation, which emphasizes the importance of reading and storytelling.
You know, reading a book, I remember sitting down and reading The Outsiders for the first time myself when I was 14 years old. And I sat down to read a few pages and I didn't get up till it was finished. And I'll never forget where that took me.
I don't think I could ever tell Steve or Two-Bit or even Derry about the clouds and sunset. Just you and Soda Pop. Maybe.
Kevin Wallivin, WDAY News.
The event at the Fargo Theatre starts at 7 p.m. on Friday night. A handful of tickets are still available. And for us to be talking about the movie 40 years later, the book 50 years later, pretty incredible.
Yeah. Can we watch the movie and see Cruise and Dillon and Macchio and
not think,
not think of Mission Impossible?
Yeah, right. Such